marker 206 on the Oregon coast. 206. 206. You can look it up on live Google Earth. Give yourself an education. I'd have 200 miles north to Astoria, or about 160 miles south to the California border, and then another 30 miles down to the Redwoods. It's so beautiful out here on the Oregon coast when it's raining and foggy. It's just stunning. I mean, no painting could ever compare to what I'm seeing live. Nobody can paint this good. I don't care who they are. Only God. God's paintbrush. Yep. Only God can make this. Nothing better than breathing in that clean, fresh air through all those trees. Takenich. Tahkenitch. Takenich. I've spent 8 hours before in this parking lot. True story. I have stayed in this parking lot 8 hours before and never got bored once. You could probably catch your dinner right there. You could get in a canoe if you had any guts in life and go all the way back there in a canoe with 30 days worth of supplies to that island back. Nobody would even know you're there. Nobody would have a clue you were there, and then you come out. And you got so much peace and joy and self-respect for yourself. If you pull in the parking lot to the left here, there's a dam you can park right there. And you can walk down and look at the dam and walk right over on the top of it too, right there. I see people do it all the time. I've done it 100 times. How do you live a satisfying life? Well, in the old days, that's what I can tell you. They did things that were hard. Like build a cabin by hand. You know, walk across the state of Nebraska. You know, they did hard things like that. And it made you more into a stronger man, a stronger woman. It gave you a complete and total sense of accomplishment in your life. You know, men and women used to go on like 30-day hunting trips back then. way lost in the wilderness and come back with all these great stories and about 300 pounds of meat to put in their freezer. Like the guy who has that kayaking channel on YouTube, or canoe, and he goes up into like British Columbia or Alaska, and he'll go for 30 days going from little island to little island in a canoe. See, these people right here, they're on some kind of adventure. They're not supposed to be parked there, stopped, but I mean, a big, huge semi could just plow right in the back of them. They were from Canada, British Columbia. Or people used to go like gold panning for 3 months. You'd get like 3 guys and go in a truck gold panning for 3 months and come back with all this adventurous stories. You'd go way out in the middle of nowhere, pan for gold 8 hours a day. You took a rifle, a shotgun, and, you know, a 6-shooter. And you wouldn't get rich, but you'd each come back with over $1,000 in gold. And the trip probably cost you $2,000. Or the book Walk Across America, Peter Jenkins. He walked with his dog all the way across the United States of America. Today you have people on bicycles bicycling from Portland to New York across the United States of America. It's the most satisfying experience of their entire lifetime. My wife and I drove a $400 Chevy station wagon through New Mexico, Oklahoma, Texas, Arizona, California, Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, Idaho, and to Oregon. And we did it 4 times in the same $400 station wagon. And then when we got to the Oregon coast out here, we stopped 22 and a half years ago, and we spent 2 months camping, or 3 months camping in the wilderness for free. And then we decided to live here. It was one of the most satisfying experiences of our 40 years of marriage. So I personally have a little experience on doing things that will satisfy you in the long run. I know how to achieve that satisfaction, and the easy road never works. You have to pick something hard that you're never done before and you're almost afraid to do it. In my 62 years of experience, that's the most satisfying parts of your life. Look at that guy living on a bus, pulling a $15,000 ATV. Living on a bus, pulling a $15,000 ATV. You can rewind the video and look at it and slow it down. See, right here, that's not living right there. That's not living. That's paying off debt. That's a $90,000 Ford truck. And here comes his little brother in a $60,000 GMC. That's not living. That's working to buy things and pay off debt. That doesn't work. That's not a satisfying life. I mean, look at West Coast Roller on YouTube. He's like on his 5th year now living in the desert. 6 years ago, he was afraid to do it. Now it's like commonplace to him. He's looking for his next big adventure. That is a satisfying life. While you're sitting there getting off work today, he's sitting down in the Arizona desert, in a lawn chair, probably drinking a lemonade, enjoying the sunset. Boy, I tell you what, it's something to think about. But I realize as I say these things, the average, 95% are never going to do it. I call it the 5% club. What is the 5% club? I told West Coast Roller about this. What is the 5% club? Only 5% of the population will ever do what 95% of the population dream about doing, but they never will do it. Let me say that again slowly. Only 5% of the population will ever do what 95% of the population dreams about doing, but they never will do it ever. And you don't know which 5% it's going to be. A color of skin doesn't matter. Male or female doesn't matter. How much you earn, rich or poor, doesn't matter. And age does not matter. I met a couple when I was climbing Pikes Peak for like the 10th time in my 30s. I met a guy who was 72 and his wife was 70. They were on their 15th year of climbing all the mountain peaks in the Rocky Mountains, and they live on the land 5 months a year, and then they go down to Arizona and live in the desert during the winter. They put everything they have into storage. They put on 2 backpacks, and they hike all the mountain peaks from Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, and New Mexico. That's what they love to do. And I talked to him for about a half hour on about halfway up Pikes Peak, Colorado once. And I said, no offense, but you're pretty old to be doing this. They said, when you get older, you just walk slower, that's all. I said, thank you, I'm going to remember that. When you get older, you just walk slower. They said, and we sit down a lot more and we experience more of the wilderness than most people who are running through, see? This guy was 72. He was carrying a 55-pound backpack, and his wife was 70. They were kind of tall. They were like 6 foot tall. She was like 5'11". And she was carrying, she said, I can only carry a 35-pound backpack now. And they both started laughing. They said they've been hiking their whole life together. That's what they do. They raised a family. All their kids were gone in college. These are the kind of people I meet when you go out in the middle of nowhere. They were from what I call the 5% club. 5% of the population will do what 95% dream about doing, but they will never do it. I don't know why it works that way. I have no idea. I think it's capitalism, the American dream. Gonna get, sell out to a house, college 2 car payments, credit cards. I mean, people actually sit around the store, you know, worrying about what kind of socks they're going to wear. So I don't know.